in this breaking the ice section, this might have taken 2 minutes. It may have not taken very long at all before you know that she's relaxed, but it could have taken 15 minutes. It just takes as long as it takes. You can't move on to the next part until she's relaxed because it won't work. So, okay, so now you will have actually been speaking about her for quite some time. You'll have asked her lots of questions and she is now relaxed. So now you can talk about yourself. Now, because you've taken the time to listen to her, she will now listen to you quite happily. But before she's satisfied that she's finished talking about herself, she's not interested in hearing about you. So you almost have to earn the right to talk about yourself. Now, this part is pretty similar to the commercial break that we did last week, and there's quite a bit of similarities about to pop up in this whole process. The only difference is that we're going to go into a little bit more detail. We're going to expand on it a little bit more. So over the weeks, what I'm hoping you're seeing is that we're just building on things. At different parts in the process, you show a little bit of something. The next part of the process, you show that but with a little bit more. So that's all we're doing here as well. Your commercial break a little bit bigger. Now, before you actually do this, you need to indicate to her that you're about to change the subject. People like to know where they are. They like to know what's happening now, what's happening next. So all you need to do is say to her, well, look, how about I tell you a little bit about my own background now, just so that you know where I've come from and how I ended up doing this. Now, she's going to be good with that. So she knows there's no surprises. She knows what we're going to do next, and she's all good with it. So then you need to tell her about yourself, and a little bit like the commercial break, it's in steps. I'm aware of the fact that I keep telling you there are 5 steps for this, and 3 steps for this, and 2 steps for that, and there's a reason for it. The reason for it is that you need to get the order right, but it doesn't mean that it's a big deal because each one of these steps can be very short. So first of all is how I came to join. Second is why I thought it might work for me. And the third is my experience so far and what I'm getting out of it. So we're going to go through each of those now, and I'm going to give you this, some scripts which are based on what I used to say, but we'll go through them and I'll just explain them as we go. So the first bit, how I came to join. Now remember, we talked to her a lot earlier and we know a lot about her now. So you need to decide which parts of your story to put into this. Don't go on forever. Just put in the parts that are going to be relevant. So you could start with something like this. I've been involved with this company for quite a while now, and it was really a surprise to me that I got involved in Party Plan at all, because it just so wasn't my thing, and that's the truth, by the way. But I ended up at a party one night pretty much by accident, and surprisingly I had a really, really good time, and I really loved the products. Now what you've done now is I probably would have found out that she's kind of surprised she's even looking at Party Plan, and she's not really sure about the whole thing, so I'm identifying a wee bit with that. Now I joined because I was looking for some extra money, and because I found I just couldn't help recommending these products to other people, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well get paid for it rather than passing customers on to someone else. So there's how I came to join. The next part will be why I thought it might work for me. Now I would this part of the script I would say if she'd been mentioning to me that she'd like to see more of her children, this part would change depending on what she said earlier on. But it always has to be true for you. So this just says, look, I decided to give it a try because it just looked like it fitted in with my lifestyle. I could see how I could make it fit beautifully with my family and my husband's work. I wanted to stay home with the children, and this just seemed perfect. So you're not telling her what's happened yet, but you're just thinking, you know, maybe it could work. This is the process that went through your head when you were deciding to join. And the last part of this is my experience and what I'm getting out of it. Now again, this is going to come from the discussion that you've had with her earlier, so you must make sure you were listening really hard. So to start with, All I wanted was to pay for my son's Montessori preschool, but as time has gone by, it's just given me so much income and flexibility, and it really started just with me wanting a little bit of extra money. It absolutely blew me away when I paid my son's entire year of Montessori after only 3 months in the business, and now I pay for all the family holidays and the special treats. And that's all true, which is awesome. Now, working part-time to earn the equivalent of full-time, it's something that I'd heard lots of people say before, work part-time hours and earn full-time income, and I thought it sounded a bit crazy, but it actually turned out that it wasn't as ridiculous as I first thought, because people in my company can make more in a couple of hours than most people do in a full day's work somewhere else. Even as a brand new consultant, you can earn about $50 an hour if you're doing average parties. So I've really found that people are so helpful and that there's so much support and training just every step of the way. It's been one of the best things I've ever done. So that would be my talk. What I've basically done is the first part was what did I want originally and how did that work out for me? And the second part was what was I surprised about? So it's almost like I'm doing, well, I wasn't really sure about this, and I thought I'd have a go, and then, oh my goodness, I was blown away when this happened. So all of it's true, but it follows a really carefully planned process while she's listening.